I guess we're started. Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Mitch Newman, calling in from Beverly Hills, California. I want to welcome everybody today to the Monday Huddle call. Always excited to be here. My intention is to add a little more magic to your already magical lives and share some things that I've learned along the way and that I continue to learn along the way, because it's better is really the road that we travel. It's not a destination. So once again, my name is Mitch Newman. I'm living in Beverly Hills, California right now with my wife, Wendy, and my two daughters, Jolie and Alexa. We have 3 dogs, Snuffleupagus, Cookie Monster, and Bernie. Yes, 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 there's a theme there. See if you can figure it out. In any event, we love where we live. We're actually looking at expanding and thinking about other places that we could live. We're in manifestation mode, which is where we create, and which is where I want to be able to talk to you guys today from a place of what it is that we can ultimately create. So before Prove It, I had just absolutely zero energy, nothing in the tank. Saturday movies with my kids were an opportunity for me to take a nap. I talked my kids out of, I used to say I beat the kids out of my kid, because I would talk them out of going to the park because I had no energy to do anything. I've been a relationship advisor for almost 18 years, and my own relationship was challenged because I wasn't really physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually present for my wife. So go figure that, telling clients what to do and then coming home and realizing that I'm not doing it in my own life. Once I found Prove It, ultimately Prove It found me, and Keto OS, I have full, complete, unbelievable focus days, sustained energy, all the projects that I talked about that I wanted to work on, all the things that I saw and envisioned for this industry of direct sales, all coming to fruition, having the strength to pull everything off the shelf and go for it. My intention moving forward, and really is my why and my mission, is about expanding greater levels of consciousness in and around the planet, and really putting people in a place to experience themselves as whole, well, and complete, and really utilizing what we have here, the inclusiveness of the Prove It community and our products, to be that launching pad from which to create all of that. So once again, it is Monday. It is about being, mindful, heartful about what it is that we can do to start creating more, living more in the present and in what we're creating moving forward, versus the challenge that we have in often getting pulled into our past. So we're going to talk a little bit about today about what we're focusing on and ultimately how to expand on that. And we're also going to talk a little bit, something I want to talk about because I think it's important, is the power of the reboot in your own personal development. Interesting stuff. And why really, because we have so many amazing calls. I've been listening in the chat, folks that are going to be presenting this week. So many great ideas, stuff that's going to be awesome for you to grow grow and build your a powerful business and really support a lot of people. But here's the deal. This is just, what I find to be critical is you can't build a beautiful house if you don't have a strong foundation to build that beautiful house. And I like to think of personal development as that foundation, and that you are that foundation. So I talk to you from a place of what I experience, because I'm no different than you. I may have a few more tools in my tool belt than some of you, but that's just because I've been focused on getting more tools. So my goal is, as a coach and as a mentor, is to be able to start to teach people this stuff so that they have more tools in the tool belt, so that they can then not only work with themselves but also work with others. The idea to expand the group of what we're doing here, because what we're really, in many ways, what I like to talk about is residual income falls under actually an even larger category, and that's called residual impact. The idea that we can share something, that something I could say today or something that you could say to somebody else could change the trajectory of somebody's life, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, and not just their lives, but then when they share with other people. And how about when they share it down, when they share it to their kids, that we have the opportunity to really, on a residual level, create a level of impact that could really impact generations to come. So I don't take any of that lightly. I like to have fun with it. I take what we do seriously, but the key is obviously ultimately to have fun with that. So I want to explain just a little bit of a story that I had this morning, and my intention ultimately is to get you folks off here the latest 9:30 Pacific time. So let's see if we can't even tighten that up a little bit more. Is I get up pretty early, and I encourage people to get up early because that's really the opportunity I find that where we can really start to reprogram the subconscious mind, where we are most susceptible and most vulnerable in a good way, in a way that allows us to expand upon ultimately not where we were, but where we're going. But I woke up this morning and I get up around 4-ish. Sometimes it's a little bit later, sometimes it's a little bit earlier. And the first thing I do for myself is I want to meditate because I find that is a really powerful thing. So I just want to give you an idea of just how insidious our past is in the infiltration of our everyday thoughts. So I get up this morning, and right before I was going into my meditation, I started thinking about something that triggered me, something that upset my peace. And it happened in a phone call that I had with a friend for many, 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 many years. And I started replaying it. You ever replay the story over and over in your head about something that happened? And so as soon as you start doing that, you're in it. It's happening all over again, physically, mentally, emotionally. Chemicals are getting released into your body. Like, you're in it all over again. So I was in it all over again, right? So I caught myself, right? Because that's one of the things that is really beautiful about being a human being is that we have the ability to ultimately observe ourselves. I call it when we are consciously unconscious. We're consciously aware that we've gone into the unconscious. So I caught myself and said, oh, this is perfect. I really need to focus in on my meditation. So I focus in on my meditation. I have a great meditation. I come out of it, and now I'm going to the gym. So I'm putting my stuff on. I'm getting myself together. I'm tying my shoelaces. And all of a sudden, I'm back in that old story. After I caught myself, had an amazing meditation. Now I'm going off to burn my glycogen stores during the reboot here. And all of a sudden, I found myself triggered back into that old story. But I quickly caught myself, and I pulled myself out of it. So that's how insidious this is, even with somebody who has a pretty large tool chest and tool belt, right? Like, this is just the way it works. So we have to be ever present. We have to be ever present. I always can say it's like we can get triggered so easily and get distracted so easily. And if you want some examples, I'll throw some out at you. Like going into a bank, and there's a line at the bank, and you're the last person in line, or somewhere in the middle, and there's only one teller, or you're in the post office, and you start to feel the energy that's happening around you, people's frustrations. They're running late, they're looking at their watch, they're getting antsy. Like, how we then can get pulled into our own past and our own set. Go to Costco, go to a Costco type place, and I don't know, hopefully this isn't, I'm not describing you. If I am, just be more aware. But there's always that person in Costco who thinks they're the only one in Costco. Their carts they just stop wherever they are, and they don't realize there's thousands of people around them because they're trying to find something and they're in their head, right? And we start to get frustrated. Those are the ways that we can easily get pulled into and pulled out of the present moment. So the key here, and what I want to really kind of stress today is supporting everybody in what are some of the ways that you can insulate yourself throughout the day, because you're going to get pulled. Like, that's just it. Like, I just accept that. And I don't look at it as a negative. I look at it as an opportunity to keep getting better. I look at it as what I've referenced in the past as suck so good moments. Like, oh, I can't believe I'm still dealing with this. All right, thank you. Thank you, God. I appreciate it. Boom, and I focus in on it and pull myself out. So we need to have these things throughout the day, because the foundation of your business, the foundation of you supporting tons and tons of people, the foundation of you providing, if it's your desire to create a highly successful prove-it business as you define success. Don't let me define it for you as you define success. Then you're going to need to be present. You're going to need to be present so that you're actually putting yourself in a position to move forward. A position to move forward. The pull is to get pulled back of why you can't, why you won't, why it's not for you, why this, why that, all these different things that kind of distract you and pull you away. So you have to be stronger than the emotional quotient that ultimately holds you in the past. You have to be. Like, I could have, at any point in time when I meditate, sometimes I get distracted in my meditation. So I kind of have a choice point, right? I could say, well, I guess it's not working today. Or I could go, oh, this is really interesting. I've come up against an emotional resistance point, and I can hear my brain trying to talk me out of going and continuing the process. I just need to deepen my process. So I make the choice to deepen my process. I don't want to rationalize and make excuses and find myself backing out and backing away from things. So you're going to get pulled, people. Like, that's it. Like, that's okay. The challenge becomes is how committed are you to yourself, to this firm foundation, so that you can then go on and build here, so that you can go on and make an impact, so that you can not only create residual income here that's substantial, but an even larger residual impact. A larger residual impact. So I want to give you an example of one of the things that you can do before I kind of switch gears here and talk a little bit about the reboot. I want to give you a little bit of an example of how you can, we call it in LCD the turn, how you can actually make the turn for yourself in a particular situation, okay? So, and I call that turning challenge into gratitude. So remember earlier I said every time we tell the story, we're back in the story. We're back in, not only back in the story, we're back in the experience of the story as if it's happening all over again. So that's why I'm always correcting people on language, because words will pull you back. Keep telling the story about the past. I've had people come and say, hey, so what's going on? And they'll tell me this like story, which is like what I call the ultimate in case building about why they can't build the business. And I said, but it sounds like you really want to build a business. And they go, I do. I go, okay, so here's the first place that you're going to start. Never tell that story to me or anyone else ever again, like ever. Because every time you lead with it, okay, every time you lead with it, you're starting at a loss. And the only place to go is backwards, because now you're waiting for something outside of you to prove that story not to be true, when the inside of you has already decided that it's true. So you can't build a house on a faulty foundation and expect it to stand. So that's why these calls on Monday or whatever, whenever they are, that's why these touch points throughout the day are so critical for you, because you're going to get pulled. That's just the way it works. So if you're going to get pulled, you know you're going to get pulled. What are the tools that you have to support yourself in pulling yourself up and forward? So I'm going to give you an example. So sometimes people will call me and I'll say, so what's going on? And they'll go, oh, I struggle with, connecting with people, and it's really impacted, my whole world, and I can't really build this thing, because I don't really know people. So that's starting at a loss, leading with a loss, and there's really not a lot of place to go because they've actually fallen into that category. So here's the reframe. We call it a reframe. Like, how do you reframe something from the old to the present and the future? So if somebody says, I struggle with connecting with people, what about, for your consideration, I'm so excited I get to expand my connections with people through community-based marketing. So the idea is that the things that you're struggling with need to be the things that you get most excited about. So it's not just, it's looking at the reframe from a position of where do I want to go, not where I've been. Not where I've been. Because that's what most people do when they wake up in the morning. They're referenced already. By the time they open their eyes, they're referenced in the past. And that's why that morning is so important for me, and I want it to be important for you. And I want the whole day to be important for you, because the work doesn't start and end in the morning. It sets the tone, but then you have to be in tune throughout the day, because things are going to come at you. Things are going to shift. So if you can simply catch yourself in a story like, I struggle with connecting with people, and instead saying, I'm so excited I get to expand my connections with people through community-based marketing. Whatever it is that you think you're struggling with is really a challenge, and turn that challenge into possibility. Turn it into probability. Like, how cool is it that all of us get to become the best version of ourselves, to constantly be in the pursuit of better, to constantly come up against our resistance, to constantly be challenged to be better, because that's the only way better occurs. Otherwise, it's just status quo, or you get to a certain level better and you plateau and then you check out. How many of us, myself included, can look back at times in your life where you realize that, oh my God, I kind of get to a certain place, whatever I do, I get to a certain level, and then all of a sudden it just kind of plateaus, and then I just get disinterested and then move on to something else, and I keep doing that same thing. Well, that's the resistance point. That's the point at which you have reached the end of that emotional quotient about what you think you're capable of doing. So that's when you have to dig in more. So all I'm asking you to do is to turn the challenge into gratitude. When you hear yourself judging yourself at some point during the day, and you will, and it's okay, turn it into gratitude. Man, I don't know if I can really do this. Wow, I'm so excited that I get to be here and be challenged to be better, to build this team. I don't know if I can manage this relationship. I am so excited that I get the opportunity to dig in here, learn more about myself and other people so that I can be a more effective communicator. So not only are you changing the words that you're using, which are rooted in the past, because that's the pattern of the past, and you're rooting it in, here's where I'm at, here's where I'm going, but you're also changing your physiology. You're changing your physical, mental, and emotional state, because you're telling that new story, in essence, that new desire, that new intention, with an elevated level of emotion, from a place that you're actually excited about the fact that you get to do this. We get to do this, folks. Like, how cool is this? Sometimes we forget and get knocked off, and we get pulled into our past, and we start replaying old tapes, and all of a sudden you have to go, whoa, whoa, whoa. Be the observer of your thoughts. Wow, that's interesting. I'm sitting here judging myself for X, Y, Z. Wow, I'm so excited that X, Y, Z is out the door, and here's what I'm replacing it with. Moving forward, you have the opportunity here to get excited about where you want to go. But you're not going to get excited about where you want to go if you keep reliving, replaying, and rewounding and rejudging what happened in the past. It's unfortunate that stuff happened in the past for a lot of us. We all have a laundry list of stories of things that, that happened in the past. What if everything that happened in the past was what brought you to this point of opportunity? What if you were able to reframe it and see that in a way that allows you to drive forward and say, I'm so grateful for everything that's happened to me. I'm so grateful for every challenging relationship. I'm so grateful for whatever physical challenge that I had in the past. I'm grateful for adrenal fatigue, and I'm grateful for brain fog, and I'm grateful that I checked out for a period of time. Because if I didn't, I don't know, I'd be someplace, I don't know where, but I'm grateful for where I'm at right now. So you can't, if you change any one thing about your past, you wouldn't be right here right now. And if you're excited about where you are right now and where you want to go, now from this point forward, we got to put some stuff down in place in order to be able to do that. So I'm going to give you a call to action coming up shortly, but I want to talk real quick about the reboot and why the reboot is so important in your personal development. So understand what's happening. You're in a co-creative relationship with your body, okay? a co-creative relationship with your body. What does that mean? Well, your body inside, right, has an autonomic nervous system. It doesn't say to you, hey, Mitch, why don't you breathe right now? Hey, Mitch, we're going to carry these cells here. Hey, Mitch, why don't you do something to get your heart started? All this stuff is happening on the inside, the autonomic nervous system. It's happening without us thinking about it. But here's the difference. Here's the co-creative process. The co-creative process says that we then have to be responsible for our side of it, for the part of us that knows better, for the part of us that can manage our physical, mental, and emotional and spiritual states. The part of us that can say, you know what, as much as I would love that donut, it ain't happening now. So we get the opportunity to make self-honoring choices. And the beauty is that while your body is doing its part, and when you're doing your part, you're in that co-creative relationship, then you're allowing the body to do what it actually does better. Like, your body changes over time. The stuff that you did when you were, 15, you can't necessarily do anymore. The things that you ate, the things that you put in your body, the way you strain, you just can't. So you've got to work with it. So the reboot comes along, and it kind of gets to be a little bit of a shock to the system. Your responsibility, my responsibility, is to do our part, to allow the body to do what it does, and God willing, to hopefully have it do it a really long time. We have to be really super smart about the choices we're making. So here's what happens. When you stop eating physical food, even though we're putting a fuel source in our body, what we're doing is we're also denying the body a physiological response of the body to reduce stress and anxiety and upset through chewing. The crunchier, the better. Animals in the animal kingdom will utilize chewing as a way to reduce stress. So here's what happens. You're going about your day, things are going on, you have a couple phone calls, don't go so well, this, that, all, and you go, oh, I got to eat something. Are you really hungry? No, probably not. But part of it is your body's physiological need to reduce stress and anxiety. Well, what if, on a level of personal development, you get to dig in a little deeper with yourself? Why? Because all your stuff's coming to the surface. And you don't have a chance to chew it away. You don't have a chance to stuff it away, right? But it's right there for you. Well, that's part of taking advantage of letting go of things that no longer serve you, making self-honoring choices about where you want to go, and then being a co-creative process with your actual body to move you to better. So I love the fact that my stuff comes up. There are times that I've been in a reboot and I've been on a treadmill and I'm crying on the treadmill. And I can sit there and wonder why I'm crying, or I can sit there and go, oh my God, this is so cool. I'm not going, here's the reframe. What's wrong with me that I'm crying on the treadmill? To, oh my God, this is so cool. I don't know what this is, but my body's releasing something that no longer serves me. Oh my God, this is amazing. So much here to celebrate, folks. So much here to celebrate. So chances are you're not hungry. It's what you think. Because a lot of times my kids will say, I'm starving. Oh my God, I'm starving. I'm starving, right? What we're really probably starving for is more love, more attention, more affection, more connection. Those are the things that we ultimately really need. So maybe that's where we need to dig in. Better relationships, building a stronger business. So I hope this leads a little bit of insight and a little bit of support to you moving forward. So call to action, and then we're going to pop off the phone, and I'm going to meet my commitment to be off by 9:30. I want you to keep a pad and paper with you, or you can use your smartphone, whatever it is, but ideally I want you to make sure that you do this for yourself. Is number one, I want you to write down a negative thought that you have during the course of the day, and then I want you to immediately reframe it into something positive, uplifting, moving forward. Change the words, put in better words, put in a strong intention about where you're going, and then I want you to say it out loud. But here's the caveat. You're going to say it out loud to the person that enrolled you, because you're going to call that person up, and you're going to say, hey, I just wanted to check in with you. I realized that I was having this thought today, and here's the thought, and I reframed it, and I'd like to read you the reframe. And then you read it to them with energy, excitement, enthusiasm. And there's a three-parter, okay? Then I want you to tell them one thing that you're aware of that you know you can do better in your business that in the past you haven't done. Just one thing. So one reframe, one thing you know that you could do better moving forward in your business, because that's letting go of the past and where we're going forward. And then here's the third one. I want you to ask that person for one piece of feedback on one thing, and you make sure you stress one thing that they feel that you could improve upon. So I want you to receive feedback from someone else to be able to support you moving forward, and I want you to be open to the feedback. You don't necessarily have to agree with the person, but listen, because there may be something in there. If it's not what they're saying, it may be something else. And then thank them for that. Let them know that you appreciate the feedback. All right. So I would love to stay on the phone and talk all day, but I've got to start packing for Vegas. I don't know who's going to Vegas, baby. I'm going to Vegas. I'm going to be honest, full disclosure here. I'm not a Vegas person. I'm not a gambler. I don't need things in excess. Like you just can't get a burger. You have to get a whole cow. You can't just get a drink. You have to get a tureen of something. I don't know. But I'm going because Michael Rutherford and Dustin Schaefer are going to lay it down. Lay it down. So I don't care where you are in the country. Seriously. I'd love for you to just go, oh, my God, I got to get there. And when you get there, other people are going to get there. I'm just telling you, that's how it works. That's how it spreads. But all roads lead to Vegas and on to Keto Academy and more. And I'm telling you, take advantage of this because these guys are crushing it at a high level. It's very, very simple. They're not going to complicate it. It's going to be real direct. But I'm telling you, it will drive your business forward. And this whole theme of this call today was about here's where I am and what do I need to do to get where I want to go. This or something better for the highest good of all concerned. I love you guys. I appreciate you all. Happy Monday. Happy week. We'll see you in Las Vegas. Take care. I feel complete. How about you?